And it's interesting because I feel like what you guys do would have been like a TV show because there was a point where all of this kind of stuff was a TV show, towing and recoveries and all kinds of stuff.
I've turned down 2 of them so far.
Yeah, I've done the same. I've turned down multiple
streaming deals, I'd imagine at this point.
Yeah, I've had friends that have done this, and I know people that have had TV shows. Some of them I know pretty well. Some of them I'm just watching kind of from a distance. I'm like, I don't want to give up the creative freedom that I have.
Yeah,
and yeah, I think it's the right choice.
For sure. It's interesting to hear creative freedom because like you film almost situations that you didn't create though. Which is, it's like you do create I'm not trying to take it away from you. No, of course, I'm just saying like it's almost already in place when you show up, which is cool.
I'll hand you this. We have a pretty interesting subject matter, but there's other. I mean, you've got to do it right. You've got to bring the audience in with you. You've got to bring them in there and make them feel like they're hanging out with you and doing what you're doing, and that's a big part of what I think works for what we're doing. Is I'm just letting them know what's going on. So
it's just I think about it so differently because like if I don't make something happen, nothing actually happens. Like you guys it's cool that things are actually happening and you get to document it. I guess there's almost like a little bit difference there.
But there's things that may.
But you obviously make it your own.
Yeah, maybe as a viewer, it's kind of hard to pick these up, and that's good because that means that we're doing it right.
Yeah.
And that's like, if we just film the video might be 5 minutes long, like if we film the job, but we like film getting gas, and we film, getting snacks, and then there's something, we're just talking to the camera. We'll be singing to the camera or something, just like if they were really hanging out with us. And you gotta kind of stay on top of that. Because the camera takes a certain amount of emotion away, like when you're talking to a camera and you're excited. Because like if we're in here and I'm like, oh, these are cool, whatever, and you're like, you totally got everything that I just was saying. But the camera, for some reason, was like, makes it kind of look like you go, huh. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of what it looks like. So for a camera, you got to go like, oh man, is this a top fuel piston?
Yeah.
And if I did that without a camera, you'd be like, this guy's a lunatic.
You need that extra 20%.
Yeah. And that stuff you have to do.
That's the part I'm still working on.
Yeah.
You show up to some dude that's stuck, and you're like, oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is gonna look great.
He's having the worst day of his life, and you're just like, guys, we're on another one.
Yeah,
because it's such an interesting dynamic, and it's cool, and I see that more and more in social media and YouTube is filming like a job and a thing and making it interesting and like something that happens on or off camera and making it interesting.
This is how I distill it. We don't film interesting things. We film boring things interesting.
Oh,
seeing.
But recovery sounds interesting to me.
Well, it does. It may to you, but it's not going to sound that way to my mom or to people in her demographic. And we have a really broad demographic watching this. Most of them are not off-roaders. They don't care about towing or anything like that. They're watching because somebody got them into it, and they enjoy the family aspect, the team aspect of it, whatever they're liking. We found, because we've done other things, because we're doing shop builds now. I've done a couple of like, will it start and can I drive home in it, and those perform really well too. So it's not, it's more about letting them in and engaging with them.
What was your thoughts on? Were you worried about venturing into different content, or were you like, oh, I know my audience, I know they'll enjoy this as well? Because we all know our audiences more than anyone.
Right. And knowing your audience is very, very important. But you kind of do toe in the water stuff. We like to I put a little bit of Corvair content in, and it performed well. So I'm like, okay, we're going to go buy a Corvair and drive it, 700 miles. And that performed well.
And now
then the next one was, we're going to buy a Corvair out of a field that's been sitting for 15 or 20 years. And we're going to get it running, and we're going to drive it home. And that performed well. So I'm like, okay, so they're hanging out with us and doing what we do, and we try to keep it interesting and mix it up. So like, it's just like you can go to any genre of YouTube and be like, and you can see this guy's doing it right and this guy's doing it wrong because this guy's getting 1 million views and this guy's getting no views, and they've got the same exact subject matter. So the subject matter matters a lot less than how you present it.
Yep. There's, especially in drag racing, because everybody's filming themselves now doing it. So to boil to the top of that, especially when people don't have, like, I see it all the time, people have, like, the fastest car at the track, but they're not getting as many views as the guy that's just having more fun.
Well, and I was hanging out with a mountain bike YouTuber. His name's Seth. He's got a YouTube channel called Berm Peak. My kids went out with us, and they're pretty accomplished mountain bike riders. And my son was like, I think I might be as good or better technical rider than Seth. Mm-hmm. But he's got this really big, awesome YouTube channel, and it's totally because he's the everyman, and he's engaging. And that was a good moment for me to point to my kids, like, listen, this, you can see what it is. You don't have to be the best or the fastest or the biggest. You can claim to have the world's largest off-road record, but you don't have to have the world's largest off-road record.
You just claim it, and then when everybody starts building bigger, good for them.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.